My name's Harry Sdraulig, and I am one of the composers involved in the 50 Fanfares project with the Sydney Symphony Orchestra. So I came to be a composer largely. I started at school. Over my high school years, I played in orchestras, and I came to really love playing in orchestra, but also I loved the idea of imagining maybe writing for orchestra myself one day. So that was kind of how my trajectory started. I went to university and studied composition, and one thing led to another, and now here I am writing for some of Australia's professional orchestras, including the Sydney Symphony Orchestra, and I couldn't be happier. So my compositional process is going to be different to that of other composers. Generally, when I receive a commission, one of the first things I need to think about is what sort of piece is it going to be and what's the journey of the piece. So for example, with this commission, I knew it was a fanfare, therefore it needed to have some sort of impact, and it needed to be quite a strong kind of piece rather than a quiet or kind of slow composition. And so once I'd made that decision, then basically I build this sort of picture in my head of what the composition is, almost to kind of, a fairly detailed degree in terms of what notes go where. And then when it comes to actually writing out the music, I like to just start from bar one and compose right until the end. I'm very much a through composer. I have more or less all of the notes up in my head, and it's just a matter of getting them down onto the paper and then making little refinements after that. It was a real pleasure to come in this morning and hear musicians bring the music to life in ways that you just don't conceive, especially when they're great musicians like the musicians of the Sydney Symphony Orchestra and Simone Young. They really think about the music in a different way, and the greatest pleasure as a composer is often when the outcome is even more wonderful than you might have expected when you were playing through the music in your own head. I think the 50 Fanfares project is simply extraordinary. I don't think that I've heard of a project that is so ambitious in terms of its scale being run by an orchestra anywhere in the world. I think it's an extraordinary investment in the future of Australian music. I think that to be involved in it is a wonderful thing, but it also brings me tremendous excitement to know just how much new Australian music is being produced out of this project and how many performances that music might have with other orchestras further on down the track, and actually the legacy that the Sydney Symphony Orchestra is leaving by providing this investment. I think it's just a wonderful thing that was, caught, I think, most of us composers completely out of the blue. And it's really, really a fantastic initiative, and for possibly decades to come, the legacy of this initiative will be very, very clear.